Buddy. But hello, my name is host Eric, and I'm the host of Talking with Famous People. Cameron's gone on home, and I watched the cartoon that I wanted to watch today, namely Online Grocery, aka Campfire Cookout with My Absurd Skill or something like that. So I thought it's not going to be a very productive or active day, really. I need to crash. I've not gotten much sleep since I got this bottle of Adderall. But I thought, you know what, Eric, go ahead. Go ahead and do a little bit of live streaming. Because if nothing else, you need to tell people to kiss your grits. Maybe YouTube doesn't like that title, though. It's possible, too. There's a lot YouTube doesn't like about me. YouTube's kind of constantly giving me the side eye. I'm not sure what you're up to, old man, but I don't like it. I don't like that. Let me pull up the name on the big screen. Talking with famous people is, of course, the internet's only YouTube channel. And, accordingly, the internet's most important YouTube channel. There's nothing more important than talking with famous people. It's me watching me. What could be more important than that? You watching me? I don't know. Well, regardless, it's possible it doesn't like this title, "Kiss My Grits." I don't know. I'm not sure how cautious YouTube is about such an expression. Kiss my grits is not generally considered profane in any way. But perhaps YouTube just isn't sure. Or like, kiss my anything counts as unacceptable. Even my grits. So, okay. Now that Cameron's gone, I can do a little cleaning up or something. I mean, he didn't leave any mess, just to wash the sheets and pillowcases. But he left me some of this wire, which I can use to hang up branches and stuff with. The tech closet is chock full to the brim with drying plants. So I'm kind of out of space. I still have a lot of harvesting to do, but it's a lot less than it was before Cameron arrived and helped me. He did quite a bit of manicuring as well. Like, even our, like, smalls and fall off buds and stuff table is quite full of buds. We had a lot of rain last night, as you can see. Still raining a little bit right now. If you look in the pond, you'll see it filled up that top pool. I see some worms that are at risk of drowning in this top pool. So let me see if I can save them. Okay, that's one worm. Let's put this in the compost pile. Let's see if I can save the other worm that I see down there as well. There's two more worms down there. This one's going to be a little harder to get to. But let's see. Come on, you worms. You just stay down there, you're going to drown. Oh my God, the water is so cold. It's freezing my little buns. Let's see if I can get these other worms out with this stick, maybe. Come on, wormy worm. Let's go. It's so difficult. And why? Just because I'm trying to save your life. Alright. I got the last two worms. Oh, Lordy Lord. That cold water. So cold. Oh, my hands freezing to death. Okay, I saved 4 worms. There's another worm. Wow. That's some really cold water. I wouldn't be shocked if it snows a little bit tonight. Although they bumped the temps up a bit from the initial projections. So probably not, but like if the weather thing says 37 and rain, it'll, or 36 or whatever, it'll usually end up being snow here. But if it's at 40, it won't. Hi there, nothing to see here. Is fall coming in full force? Yeah, it sure is. I mean, truth is, winter is coming because we might not get snow here from the storm at 4,000 feet, but I'm pretty sure they're probably getting snow at 5,000 feet, maybe 6. It's a pretty chilly storm here in sunny California. We've had a nice fall in terms of precipitation because this is the 3rd rain we've had in the fall. And normally fall is not very wet. California's got kind of a small wet season that usually runs from December-ish, but maybe more like January through March. It's nice to get some bonus precipitation here in the fall. And Obviously, I'm a little bit worried about my pond because Cameron and I just finished the final mortaring of the bottom pool yesterday morning. Yeah, well, I'll bring the goldfish in spring probably, but um, I might bring them in before then. It's possible. I get that it's gonna be cold for them, but I was considering getting a pond heater to use on some of the coldest stretches. You just heat it up a bit more, like 50 degrees or something. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more harvesting right now. I'm pretty burned out on harvesting. I can't do any more ponding right now because it's raining. And I'm pretty tired, pretty tore up feeling. Tomorrow I've got a couple typing sessions. Now I got one tomorrow, one on Thursday. Okay, there. I'll use that later when it comes time to hang up more plants to dry. I bet some grandkids would marvel over that for hours. I don't have any grandkids now. I have one daughter, and things is things are looking a little more promising on the grandchild front than they have been for a long time, or heretofore, because she's dating this guy now, living with him. He's moved in with her, and sounds like she does eventually plan to marry this person. So then maybe they'll have a kid. Who knows? It'd be pretty fun to have a grandchild running around. But you know, I'm fine with status quo as well. Oh yeah, I'm super proud of my daughter. She's great. She's wonderful, and uh, I'm not the parent who's bugging her about grandkids. She's got other people in her life who, like her mother, her stepmother, her grandmother, her step grandmother. They're pushing for like a grandkid a lot more than I've only ever really brought it up with her one time. I said, "You gonna ever have any kids?" It was not that long ago. She's like, "Oh God, please don't you start in with this shit too." Okay, that's fine. I think people push. Um, I guess they want a grandkid, you know. I don't know what they think that's going to accomplish. Like, oh well, I wasn't gonna have one, but since you all want me to, fine. I don't think that would happen. Not with Delilah anyway. What does she do? Nothing. She just tries to live cheap in her apartment and play video games. She'll get a job at some point, as I will too, but at the moment we're not doing anything. Delilah has had jobs before, but you know, like Starbucks and stuff. She's not never worked a career kind of a job before, and she probably won't be looking to get that kind of job. But she could, cause in theory, because she graduated from college with an abundantly useful psychology degree. So she does have her bachelor's degree, and accordingly, she could try to find some kind of work that requires a bachelor's degree. Maybe not the specific one she has, but I don't know. She's a wonderful child. Every time I talk to her, I feel a great swelling of affection. She's, what, 27 now? Or 26? She just turned either 26 or 27. I think 27. Yeah, it's 27 because I was shocked by, like, oh my God, you're almost 30. How did that happen? Because, like, 25 years ago, you were just 2 years old. I was pretty sure you were going to stay that way forever. But she didn't stay that way forever. She turned into an adult. Now all that's left is old age and death. Yeah, time flies. Time flies regardless of whether you're having fun. Although, what does it mean to call someone who's almost 30 a child? It means that I am their biological parent. You know, she's not a child, but she's my child. You're a philosopher, right? I've found myself gripped by an existential dread that's having me consider writing off the idea of progening myself. I'm pushing me either way. Um, well, I have a lot of existential dread, what I call existential dread, but I don't see that as linked to the issue of progeny. If you're talking about like global concern, like the world's getting to be too fucked up, I don't want to subject my kid to that, or something like that, or that the world's already so fucked up by overpopulation, I don't want to contribute to that, something like that, or um, it's not possible for individuals to achieve any kind of meaningful history of man sense any longer. So why bother? I don't know. There's a lot of different antinatalism things, reasonings that you can, or it's just, I guess they just call it natalism. Um, a lot of different angles you can push on that. The thing is, I enjoyed raising my daughter. I was, you know, I was the primary caregiver until I got a second wife who then helped me with some of those responsibilities because her biological mother wasn't very involved. The other thing though is like nowadays I don't talk to her very often just because we're both F5 polar. Um, and once your kid grows up, it really depends on what kind of family dynamic you have as to as to how actively you're still involved with them. For people like me and Delilah, both of whom are blind to our own feelings, we tend to deprioritize maintaining precious relationships. Even though it never changes, our relationship never changes. It's not like it's at risk of going bad or something. It's just we got our own shit going on. We don't bother calling each other, you know. I call her more than she does me, certainly. We're talking about my daughter, Delilah, and our relationship and whether or not it's a good idea to have a kid. I certainly would never go back and not have my kid, but if I were, in my mid 20s now instead of my mid 50s, I probably still want a kid. I certainly would ideally do it a little more intelligently, but Eric, do you think the archons have sped up our timeline? Some of us can feel it. What are the archons? Have they sped up our timeline? I mean, there's a quality related to TE that, like, as TE unlocks, the TE solves certain problems, it then unlocks other solutions, right? And you've got multiple TE things gaining primacy as best practices, and so you're going to have necessarily speed up the evolution of humanity on an intellectual level. It's going to continually speeding up, which is to say, like, right now, though, I would say that humanity is struggling with the adolescence of information fluidity. Even though it's into its maturity, humanity is not into its maturity in relationship to information fluidity. So it, it the internet has changed our relationship with bad thinking somewhat. Bad thinking was largely hidden as it was excluded from by gatekeepers. You know, it was still there the whole time. It just wasn't as visible. And now that it is visible, it's easy for anybody trying to. Oh well, I mean, I don't think it necessarily means anything either way. It's there are some people who are in their mid 50s who are going to insist on highlighting the age difference to a younger person in order to, I guess, assert wisdom or something. But uh, if somebody's saying to some other person, "You're still a kid. Don't get too big for your britches and think you know anything." Well, obviously that's just groupism on age. You got to evaluate people on their own merits. So if a child, even in adulthood, is still a child of their parent beyond biological reality, well, I mean, the other reality that is the child of my parent, the child of I'm the parent of my child because it's like we have shared history of the entirety of her upbringing time. So all of her SI from childhood, adolescence, and stuff links very strongly to me. Obviously, she has occupies less of a lower percentage of my total life, but so part of the subjectivity come from shared experiences and positive shared experiences. We always had a good relationship. I always loved her beyond anything I could imagine. Kind of a sad topic in some sense. I guess it just makes me think of family. It's weird when your parents die after they've been alive for your entire life. You're in your, I guess, 50s when they died. I was like 50, I think. I don't know how old exactly I was, but it's really weird because what you don't realize is that you're maintaining this metaphysical space when your parents are still alive that says, you know, I live wherever, right? But home is where my parents are still. Um, my original home, you know. So just use the phrases "that's my daughter" and "that's my child" synonymously. Well, I mean, I don't think the child has as rigidly a diminutive connotation as you. It seems to be suggested by what you're saying. I mean, usually, if they're gonna say "that's my child," it's for some particular reason, like they're clarifying. No, that's my child. That's my stepchild, or something like that. Or that's my child. He's just like me. Doesn't fall too far from the tree. Or that's my child? What? That child doesn't look anything like me at all. I don't understand how that child belongs to either of us. It's clearly Blasian and we're both white. With 30-year-olds walking into an establishment ever identify herself as I'm the child? Yeah, sure. I could imagine myself if I were 30 and my parents were talking with somebody as I came up to the house and I hadn't met them before. I'd go and say, "Hi, I'm Eric. I'm their child." I could see myself saying that, you know. Probably somewhat to be quirky, but parent-child relationship is a permanent one, you know. You may not be a child anymore, but you remain the child of your parent. Obviously, I'm assuming you've got a good relationship with your parent, right? Because if you're dealing with a toxic parent, that's a different matter. But, you know, it's like, I will always love Delilah as a child should be loved, unconditionally. And it's impossible for her to lose me, you know? To it's impossible for the relationship to go bad, basically. We both are respectful of each other's boundaries, so there's no reason why it would go bad. But you know, you can't love adults like that. You can't love them unconditionally in the way that a child should be loved. You know, understanding that there's nothing ultimately you won't forgive. There are things you can't, won't, shouldn't forgive from when dealing with other adults. So in that regard, your child's always your child because, and you're always their dad because there's a comfort in knowing that that person is, you know, 100% has your back and you know, I don't know. It's FI stuff. I don't know how to answer these questions. Encouraging words. When did you have her? 1998. Which means I was like 27. When I think back on that whole time, I feel like I wasn't careful enough with her. Like, I wasn't bougie enough. I didn't keep the house clean enough, stuff like that. I feel some guilt about some of things in childhood, but not that much because regardless of whatever else, I always loved her so much and made that just abundantly clear to her all the time. I wouldn't want to have a kid now, even though I'd be a better parent than I was before ever. Just because I'm older, wiser, less wild. I have fewer struggles with substance abuse. I'm not an alcoholic anymore. But I get frustrated when Trouble the cat is too demanding. Messiness makes for hardy kids. Maybe. Maybe. I was also a little bit, for the duration of time between first wife and second wife, um, I was one of those fathers who believed in letting the child pick her clothes even when she was like 2 or 3 years old. So I'd take her to like this store in the mini mall, this Chinese store, and she'd pick out this ridiculous like princess dress and wear it to school. Because I was like, well, that's what she wants to wear. And she had preschool and she had kindergarten. And then when Candace came in the picture, that was the end of Delilah dressing fun. She just, which is, Delilah was happy about it, I think, though, too, ultimately. It's maybe more important is the current status of the relationship rather than the varying degrees of impacts of past misgivings through time. The current state of the relationship is great. It's always been great. It's never been bad. It's just I have guilt because I wasn't a perfect parent at all times. I have memories of being drunk and stuff, and they're not good memories, um, but I don't have too much guilt because I know that that she had a good childhood. You know that I did good enough. I'd like to see her more often, talk to her more often. But then when I do talk to her, it's like, all right, so what's going on? What's going on with you? Okay, okay. And then, sometimes I'll settle in if she's in the mood to chitter chatter, then I'll settle in and just listen to her tell me about stuff. But a lot of times we're both like, okay, all right, cool, just checking in, bye. I have these short conversations. I got a good amount of rain last night, that's for sure. Cameron and I, Cameron mostly, fixed one spot where the rain gutter was busted. What do you think it means to have a good childhood? Well, I mean, from a parenting perspective, she was, she never had any doubts about, like, my commitment to being her parent. And she never had any doubts about her safety or well being, really, because, my parents were involved in raising her a lot too. And she had a lot of loving adults in her life. She did have some challenges. She had to go stay with her mom sometimes once she got to be like 8 to 10 years old, and she didn't really like that because it lacked those things that I was saying before. She didn't feel like a real adult was in charge. So I mean, her childhood overall wasn't idyllic or anything. Like she got bullied in middle school, but I'm just evaluating it in terms of her relationship with the adults who were supposed to love her unconditionally and always make sure she was okay, you know. She had a good amount of that. And she still has a lot of people in her life, a lot of family. She has a lot more family than I do. But she really loved her grandparents, and their deaths hit her hard too. Although, she's gotten over it more quickly than I have, I think. It's just a paradigm shift. All of a sudden, you're the last line of defense. And all of a sudden, you can't go home again, you know? You may not think about it very often when you're 40 years old about going home to your parents or something, but you have it tucked away in your head is, I'll see them again soon. I'll go over there pretty soon. I'll hang out with them. It's nice to see them, etc. And also that, you know, if ever disaster strikes, I can go talk to my parents about it. Now I have such a small family. I've got Rachel, I've got Delilah. Sure, I've got some kind of extended family and Rachel's parents and Rachel's siblings. But what is a paradigm? It's like a big scale frame. So, like, I might I might want to watch a baseball game because I want to watch a specific player and see if he continues his hitting streak. That would be a frame because it's a small scale. It's specific like that. A paradigm is a frame that impacts a lot of other things, like a fundamental understanding that you have your childhood home is still extant and you can go there and your parents are there and there's you can at least briefly return to the safety and warmth of being raised well by bourgeois parents. I mean, they did a great job of raising me. That doesn't mean I turned out good. It wasn't their fault, though. I want to assure everybody of that. My dad blamed himself for me being a fuck up, but you know, that was just another form of ontological assault, ultimately. That's something he really engaged in towards the end of his life when things started getting sour. I mean, I was a fuck up, but guess I still am. I don't know. I just was never gonna be able to do life successfully like my parents did. It was just never possible. It was like I didn't understand why when I was a kid, but I did understand that I had endless amounts of anxiety about doing stuff. I have things I had to do, homework or whatever, and that I just felt like tasks that required a lot of tedious nonsense. They just seemed so daunting to me. It's true that when people die, they never come back and they never will be available again. Yeah. You know, it took me a long time to get over my parents selling my grandma's house. It's not even the people, it's just the people, it's the spaces, right? When I was 18, my parents sold my grandma's house. I spent all my childhood going over there often to swim and whatever. She had a pool. And she lived in the same little neighborhood as my parents did. I really didn't like it that they sold that house. I really didn't like that because it's like, wait, but that's our house. I need to go over there sometimes and be in that space. Of course, now, nope, now it's not our house anymore. Now it's grandma's house belongs to somebody else entirely. So that kind of thing, I think it links to FI polar as well because I've always had what I call existential terror, which is the sense that things I should have been cherishing have changed, gone away, died, whatever, while I was too busy playing to pay attention. Yeah, I do have my own house now. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not fortunate. I'm very fortunate. Going back spaces from the past can sort of create a moment or a line that can touch childhood again. Yeah. So I think the anguish of FI polar is exactly what I just described. It's not not prioritizing what's actually precious, being so busy playing and paying attention to things that don't really matter, that the precious things change, die, go away, and while you weren't while you were not paying attention. But I suspect that existential terror might it might link to everybody's polar, or it might be that FI polar uniquely experiences the kind of challenges I've faced from it. Well, I mean, what's precious is, what's precious is relationships, right? What's what's fun or desirable is not necessarily maintaining that relationship because it might make you feel a lot of things to even put yourself in the space of remembering to maintain that relationship. And instead you just live stream and smoke weed and watch cartoons and Cameron just came up here and we had a great time and he was here for 3 or 4 days and you know I didn't when he left but I wanted to but for some reason it just didn't happen. I want to just say thanks for being such a good friend. It's important to me that I'm not all alone in the world in terms of IRL people, but if I'm comfortable in my indulgences then I can back burner that indefinitely. No, I don't think so. You know, I basically never put myself in other people's shoes. So, so I guess I'm pretty selfish. But, you know, I'm also a lot more sensitive and emotional than I used to be. Like, I didn't used to dwell on my past failures so nearly as much as I do now, not remotely close. And I didn't really feel very acutely my the pain of having hurt people and stuff. You know, nowadays I'm like a burn victim whose skin remains very sensitive. I'm getting gradually coming around the other side of things. You know, I would never have guessed it would take this long to process all this stuff, but I guess I had a whole backlog of stuff to process that all came loose. You know, when my dad shot himself. Software updates. Yeah. One one way that plays out is I used to be able to party, stay up, etc., tweak out on stuff, and then when it's time to crash, I just crash SI wise. I wouldn't really have any dark thoughts and stuff. Now I tend to have a lot of shame and anxiety, and which is stuff I used to deal with when I was drinking. I really had a lot of self-loathing and shame and anxiety, but then that went away after I quit drinking for like a decade almost, and then moral hangover. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's a nice expression, I like to. Think you'll ever quit smoking? Maybe. I, I'm not. I don't. I don't see myself ever quitting smoking weed, but maybe I could quit smoking cigarettes. I don't know. I like smoking, and I don't smoke as much as I used to. The thing is, people who watch me on live streams, they're gonna unavoidably think I smoke a lot, but because I smoke a lot more when I'm live streaming than when I'm not, both cigarettes and weed. Battery power? What? This thing has batteries in it? I thought it was powered by pixie dust and moonbeams. There. Now it's plugged in. So, should charge. I gotta drink some more of this syrup. The thing is, I should drink it when it's not like coming near bedtime because I actually have trouble sleeping when I have too much of this stuff. It it's like I'm too edible faded and I can't sleep. This is a fairly small amount of the stuff. Let's see. I do have another tube of that in the car. I like the stuff because it's cheaper than buying the individual drinks. Like $40 for 1,000 milligrams worth of syrup, whereas you pay like $100 for individual drinks for that much. But also because I don't have to have any added sugar or anything in the drink. I can just it tastes like cough syrup, cherry flavored cough syrup. And you only need to do like 6 milliliters or something to get 100 milligrams of THC. It's a lot of bang for your buck. Rodney H. Jackson IV, BA entrepreneur, GPA 3.2. What's the BA stand for? Bachelor of Arts? Or like BA Baracus? A little bit of this grapefruit juice and I'll put it away. Okay, I have to go pee. I'll leave you guys here. I know it's going to be a little scary because I'm not going to be here for a few minutes, but I believe that you guys can handle this. So I wish you all the best while I go to the bathroom. Hi, Jeremiah Fix. Who does Rodney East Jackson want to insult? He's not trying to insult me. Oh, boy, I'm tired. I am as tired as a tire factory staffed by entirely retired tire factory workers. That's how tired I am. So, in other words, on a scale of 1 to tired, I'm tired. But I had to make an executive decision at some point, like at 4 in the morning. I figured, okay, Cameron said he's going to be leaving around 10 or 11. So I guess I'll give up on going to sleep tonight. And I'll take a couple Adderall. Then I'll go to sleep after he leaves. But I ended up taking 3 Adderall, and I am tired, but probably not going to go to sleep right away. This is the problem with Adderall. It's like you want to have the good part of it, where you're all thwacked out and doing a bunch of shit, not the part where you're still up, but you're not thwacked out really because you're tired. But it's hard to craft your experience properly because you don't have full control over when you sleep. You can't just decide to go, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now for the next 6 hours and have it happen necessarily. You want to tell me how good looking my beard is? It's very good looking. Some people call it the Helen of Troy of beards. Oh my God, is that Helen of Troy on your chin? No, friend, it's just my beard. But I agree that if Helen of Troy had a beard, it would look a lot like this one. You know, my wife likes to say to me that I'm a beautiful baby boy. And I agree with her. I'm a cherub. A little baby with wings. A little naked baby with wings. Flying around. Carrying bunting to hang up places. That's who I am. That's how I live. Well, I guess I'm out of ready to smoke bud, so I'll have to open this jar. I think Cameron home with a couple of well-earned jars of weed. He did a lot of manicuring. We both did, you know, but we had a good time. We had a very nice time this time. We did a lot of activities, got a lot done, got to visit that cool river spot. I'd be the tallest baby cherub with the correctest words. You know, Winston's mom, in heaven, there is no tall and short. All the babies are exactly the same size. And in heaven, dumb people know they're dumb and don't try to assert things that are wrong. I guess I should say wrong people are freed from their attachment to their wrongness. It doesn't make them more correct, it just makes them not fight against me when I'm correct. Cam's a very good fellow. Yeah, I'm fortunate to still have an SJ in my life. Ego or pride, not wrongness. They're attached to your insecurity, I guess. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I guess you're probably right. But I see wrongness like a witness's wrongness being different than say Tuts's wrongness. Like a witness's wrongness is rooted in religious fervor, whereas Tuts is more of a ego thing. I mean, I, one could say, well, Eric, it's an ego thing for you too, or something, which may be fine, but the issue of whether it's an ego thing becomes relevant only when the person's wrong. Because then you have to explain why they're insisting on still being wrong. He may genuinely believe that he understands cognitive functions better than I do, that he can, intuition can more correctly tell him what type somebody is than my determination of things. But I don't know. I don't generally like to critique people on the grounds of their motivations and emotions and stuff. I've been thinking about him because it's an intractable problem, right? It's like the core of the whole problem with all of cognitive functions, which is people want to play with it, and accordingly, they want it to have the requirements of a toy. I guess some people want to control others with insecure, usually. The religious people who preach are also ego based. If you argue, they take it personal, but it's really by their Christianity or WE, it wouldn't be personal first thing you're taught as. Well, I mean, the thing is, my take on the proselytizing is if he really felt comfortable with in his relationship with God, then he wouldn't feel any need to be telling others what to believe or anything. But um, I don't. Okay, so Jeremiah Fix says, "What I want the more accurate, detailed perspective. When is it cognitive dissonance?" I'm not. I don't ascribe to cognitive dissonance. I think cognitive dissonance is something that TI users assumed must occur when people who aren't TI valued or conscious, like absolute value or conscious, then they don't experience cognitive dissonance. For them, they can be completely just contradicting themselves left and right, hypocritical as all hell, and it never crossed their mind to concern themselves with the question of whether they're being hypocritical or whether they're being unfair or contradictory or something. They don't experience cognitive dissonance. They experience the opposite of what I experience. They experience blindness to to words and the capacity to use them to convey information rather than to express oneself. They just think words are for expressing themselves, and accordingly, do I contradict myself? So I contradict myself. I am I am big, I contain multitudes, or whatever that Whitman quote is. It's a terrible quote, right? In the sense that he doesn't care at all about something that purportedly causes cognitive dissonance. Couldn't care less. In fact, he makes it clear that it's a stupid thing to care about, whether you contradict yourself. Obviously, if Walt Whitman and I were to start talking, we would clash immediately on this concept. And I would say, okay, great. So you contradict yourself. You contain multitudes. Therefore, we shouldn't listen to anything you say because it might be a different person next time saying something completely opposite. So we shouldn't take your words seriously at all. Well, Woodman would say, that's just black and white thinking, Eric. You're just trying to box me in with your black and white thinking. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Like, so I have had instances where I didn't uphold TI in the tool function way that I expect myself to, that I remember and think, I was so unfair in that instance. I can't believe I did that. I didn't live up to my own standards that I hold other people to, and that makes me a hypocrite, and I hate that. So it's absolutely true that even the least hypocritical, least self-contradictory person in the world is still going to periodically contradict themselves and or be hypocritical. It's unavoidable. It's just that they'll probably shift into a mode of actively avoiding that happening and increasingly be in that mode as they get older. So it's like I'm a lot I'm at a fairly low risk for contradicting myself or hypocrisy now because I have a very good mapping out accounting of like where I make normative assertions at other people, like you should meow or you shouldn't meow, and where I don't make those kind of things. I'm not into telling other people what they should or shouldn't do in general, but I will judge wickedness. Right. I mean, good people do bad things sometimes. There's not a single person on earth who is without sin. And don't say Jesus because he's not on earth, okay? He's in heaven. I think I'm mistaking contradictory with people being simultaneously good and bad. Well, so here's the thing. If they're simultaneously good and bad about the same thing, then they're contradictory. So it's like if I advocate uh, get to other people that they should give canned food for canned food drives, then I'm being good, right? But if I myself don't give anything to the canned food drives, in fact, I take some cans for my own purposes as like a tax, well, then I'm being bad, right? In that instance, uh, if we just have the person not give the canned food himself, then he's being hypocritical because he's telling other people that they should give cans of food, but he's not willing to give any cans of food himself. If he additionally takes some cans of food for himself, then there would be some form of thieveryishness, you know. Although it's meant to be given out to people, so you could make various arguments. Regardless, then you might say he's being good in promoting the charity and bad in being self-serving about it. But that's not contradicting himself really. The taking from it, the not giving is, but the question then goes to, do intentions matter if a guy is lying and self-serving, but in his effort he somehow helps others, like a narcissist running a toy driver or some shit? Oh well, I mean, yeah, it does go to intentions, but most of all, it goes to the specific action that's being evaluated for moralness. So, like, if he's lying, well, lying is not necessarily morally prohibited. It is if you're like testifying against somebody, but people don't have the right for you to tell them the truth if it's not an actionable truth. OCD, 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 OCD. Night Owl 777. That's too many OCDs. You better stop. So it's like calculating moral stuff isn't about determining whether a person's good or bad. It's about determining whether a specific action, prospective or already taken, was legitimate or not. It can either be morally prohibited, morally permissible, or morally obligatory. So those are the three statuses the action can be evaluated as consistent with. Is DID still popular? What's DID? Dissociative individual disorder? Dungeons and Dragons? No, it's not what it's called, Jeremiah Fix. You got it wrong. Let me do this thing over there. Dissociative identity disorder, huh? The dumbass idiot disorder. I'm sorry to tell you, sir, you have DID. Yeah, dumbass idiot disorder. Basically, the problem is that you're not just an idiot, but that you're a dumbass idiot. And unfortunately, there's no cure. I like oppositional defiant disorder. And that one, it becomes a psychological disorder for you to not agree with the doctor. Well, that's a spicy meatball. You know what I'm saying? That's a spicy meatball. think what I'll do now is go get those headphones from Rachel. I kind of feel like making a little bit of music. I'm recording it, but I need a specific pair of headphones if I'm going to do this. I mean, sure, there's another way I could do it too. But let's not go all crazy with this way and that way and the other way. Let's just do it the straightforward way. And sometimes it's less straightforward, I guess. But... Alright, let's go over the T of this. This will help me accomplish this. Rather than just be like, oh, T, I hate T. Alright, so this goes in here. This goes in here. I just need to get those headphones. I'm gonna go get them. Headphones? What do you need headphones for? Alright, get the headphones. Now, get this. Plug it into here. Turn that on. And then I'm going to open up Audacity. I'm going to record some chunks of drums. And then after that, I'll probably end this stream so I can then screw around playing piano over those drums. I think I'll try to go like 110, 120 for everything. We can mean, but I could go different paces. That's fine. Maybe I should just try to go 120. Alright, so now we're going to listen. Okay. So now I'm going to push record here. Okay. That could be a little louder. Okay, make that a little hotter. Make it a little bit hotter by turning up the volume. Here we go. That's good. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna let that run for a while, and I don't know, go like a couple of minutes on this beat, and then do the alternate beat for this one, and then go to the next one. But I'm kind of having, conflicted thoughts about how I want to structure this thing here. Structure this fucking around session, since that's all it's going to be, really. Okay, well, I guess I'll switch the alt beat here a minute and a half. I should let it go a little bit longer than that, though. Because it's going to take me a while to get, you know, honed in on what I want to do over this given beat. And I don't want it to change just as I'm getting accustomed to it, Boop, 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 boop. 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 We're at 2 minutes now. Hmm. As we hit 220, I'm going to do the autofill, do the alternate beat for a little while. Then I'll switch up to the next beat. Leave that there for a while. This beat's not very interesting, but it might be fine. Bika baka booga. Big bika baga ba. Ba bika baga booga. Ba bika baga ba. Why Christians refuse to ask for proof that the Quran is memorized? Muslims say Allah made the Quran easy to remember, and I say it's impossible to memorize. The Quran is proof Allah doesn't exist. Okay. um, Altruism involves doing things for others without expectation of a reward. There's the famous thought experiment that questions whether selfless good deeds exist. I mean, just because you doing something selfless makes you feel good doesn't mean that feeling good is why you're doing it and it's actually selfish. I mean, the thing is, it may be why, but no, this isn't a typing session. It's just me and your mom hanging out as usual on a Tuesday. Same thing as usual on my any given Tuesday. Rock Shuffle 1. You guys like to shuffle and rock? You might enjoy Rock Shuffle 1. Goes like this. Ready? Boom ba ba boom ba 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 boom 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 ba 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 ba. That's how that beat goes. So it's got the first part that goes ba boom ba 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 boom ba ba ba, and the second part that goes ba 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 boom. Ba boom ba 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 boom ba 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 boom ba 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 boom ba 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 ba. Anyway, it's a shuffle, but you can actually listen to it yourself if you wanted to. Ba boom ba 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 boom ba ba ba. See what I'm saying? I know you do. It is raining. Yes, light rain is still falling outside according to the weather. Michelangelo PE. Is that like you have to sculpt statues of naked people for physical education? I gotta go to Michelangelo PE. I hate sculpting in marble. I hate sculpting in marble. I'd rather sculpt out a cheese. I hate sculpting in marbles because it makes me say G. Let's go ahead and do the autofill now and switch to this alternate shuffle 1. Hifz means memorization of the Quran. Hafaz names the Muslim belief that whoever memorizes the Quran and acts upon it will be rewarded and honored by God. I don't want to memorize the Quran. I think that's dumb. Like the name Dan. I don't want to be named Dan, neither. You can tell why. Because it's the ether. Out in the ether, people named Dan run around all the time making tan because they're shining sunlight all the time. Okay, let's stop that one. We're going to go meow 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 meow. And we're going to go yeah. This one is kind of busy, but I just let it go for a bit. You just have to remember digga digga dagga digga 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 dagga digga 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 dagga digga 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 dagga digga digga dagga digga 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 dagga digga 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 dagga digga 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 frog. What's the for memorizing the Quran? Well, what you do is you memorize it 3 words at a time, and you memorize those 3 words 3 times. And the first 3 words you're going to remember of the Quran are these, because they're important. It says, a digga dagga 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 do. It's a digga dagga digga dagga digga dagga digga dagga digga dagga digga dagga. Who are you? This is Allah. This is your mom. Which is the one and which one's the blonde? I can't tell, and that's not wrong. I don't care about that. So, you guys can't hear the beat, but I assure you I'm killing it. Let's see what the alternate beat to this one is. I don't know how long that's been going for. How many digga-doggers was that? A digga-dogga do, a digga-dogga dee, digga-dogga why, and wigga-dogga me. What do you say to the digga-dogga G, digga-dogga do, and digga-dogga dee? And pia 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 pia. Ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-dee, da-da-dee, da-da-doo, da-da-dee, da-da-doo, da-da-dee, da-da-doo, da-da-dee, da-da. da da do da da dee da da do da da dee da da do da da dee da da do da 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 do da da dee da da do da da dee da da do da do da da do da dee. All right, we're really cooking biscuits now. Getting these drums down, you feel like playing some whatever over the drums, but if you do that, then they'll both be on the same track, and I don't want that, so I have to be patient. Let the drums play out. Let them sing and shout. It's not just for me, it's for all of America and the world. Yes. All right. Well, we could let that go to hell. All right. Well, I think that's enough. I said, all right. Well, we can let that go to hell. All right. Well, I think that's enough. This is the most 80s rap beat of them all. I remember what it is, which one it is. I had life. Boop 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 pa. Boop boop pa. Boop 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 pa. 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 Here's how you should memorize the Quran. You pick up any book you want to, you find, and you send it over to your hand, and you look inside and you pick a word, then you say, this word now is in the Quran. I just put it there now and then, and that makes it better than it was before. You want to memorize the Quran? Well, here's some more. You find another word randomly in that book, and you stick it over there on top of your nook. And then you say, that word's in the Quran. How do you like it? It's fantastic. Okay. Oh, I see. I like that sentence. Oh, I see. Boom, pa, ba, boop, boop, pa. Now we're going to do the other half of the beat by pushing A and B. Already a one. Already a two. Already a one, two, three. Boop 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 pa boop 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 pa boop 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 pa boop 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 pa boop 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 pa boop pa pa boop pa 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 boop pa pa pa. That's my name. Don't wear it out. It's Boo Pa 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 Pa. That's my name. Now don't wear it out because it's Boo Pa 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 Pa. My name is Boo. Last name Pa 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 Pa. So my name is Boo Pa 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 Pa. My name is Boo Pa 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 Pa. My name is Boo Pa 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 Pa. My name is Boo Pa 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 Pa. My name is Boo Pa 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 Pa. That's my name. Don't wear it out. It's Boo Pa 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 Pa. That's my name. Boo Pa 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 Pa. Don't be ashamed of my name. It's Boo Pa 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 Pa. That's fine. And you can say that. You can say na, but I say yeah. Boo Pa 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 Pa. So don't deny me my boo, and don't deny me my pa too. Nobody wants to memorize the Quran, Mrs. Long. God. Memorizing the Quran is real dumb. I don't want to do it because it's not no fun. Can we all agree on that? Love song, huh? Ticka 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 tack. They have a higher quality of life and lower anxiety and stress than whom? Than other Muslims? I'm so Muslim that I'm super happy. I don't gotta think about stuff that's crappy. I go to that place we go. It's called Mecca. And that's where I snow. I snow there on the ground. On the Mecca. I look around. I'm so happy to be a Muslim. I say, what you doing over there? Hustling? Let's go. I don't like that beat very much. That beat is a gar. Boom boom bam ba boom boom ba boom boom bam ba dum dum da boom boom bam ba dum dum da boom bum bo doo bum ba 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 dum ba ba bum ba 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 dum dum da bum ba 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 dum dum da bum bo bo doo. We'll let that be go for a while. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Let's do aerobics. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Let's be aerobics. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Let's go to aerobics. Undo aerobics. Let's go. Go like this, and then go like that. Go like this, go like that. Go like this, then you go like that. Now you're doing aerobics. Let's do aerobics, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do aerobics, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do aerobics, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now aerobics. First you go like this, then you go like that. Then you go like this. Now you're doing aerobics, Chad. First you go like this, then you go like that. First you go like this. Now you're doing aerobics, Chad. Let's do it. A stands for aerobics. E stands for everybody do aerobics. A-R-E-E-R-A. Nobody knows how to spell aerobics today. Aerobics is a word that's too hard to spell. That's why nobody just ropes when they get to hell. Because they've got aerobics in their jello. And that's why we're going to do aerobics now. Let's go. Here we go. First you do this thing right here. Then you go and put it over there. Then you do that thing back there. Then you go over here, and when you're done with that, you go back over there. And then you go over here in your underwear, and then you go over here again, man. And then you're done. And then you say, I'm doing aerobics. Look at me. I'm doing aerobics. I'm so healthy. I'm doing aerobics. Look at me. I'm doing aerobics. I hope you're doing aerobics too. You should be joining me, by the way. Air biscuits. I'm doing aerobics. Air biscuits. I'm doing aerobics. Air biscuits, huh? Oh, don't worry. They're just air biscuits. No, those are birds. No, those are air biscuits. A lot of times people think they see birds, but really it's just biscuits flying through the air. Don't worry, I'm just making air biscuits. What? Would you like some? Air biscuits? You know what I really want instead of air biscuits? Oh, I can have air biscuits as a side, but what I really want is Nantucket bucket eggs. Yeah, because I need Nantucket bucket eggs. Without them, I always feel so hungry. Back to the first one for a little while, then we'll end this part of the activity. When one drops many air biscuits at once, it's known as a crop dusting. You make it rain, but I dust the crops. Air biscuits. Nantucket bucket eggs help you make air biscuits? Good to know. Let's see what I got as far as drums go here. 20 minutes. That's fine. That's good enough. Well, let me look at this here. I see. I see. I think we've diagnosed the problem here. There's not really any problem here. Things are fine. Let's let that sit there for a second, and I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Air biscuits. Up in your face. Air biscuits. It sounds like some sort of jutsu that they do in anime. Air biscuito! Mommy? He called me air biscuits again. Steven, I told you to stop calling her air biscuit. I didn't call her air biscuits. I said, you gotta share your brisket. Moving aerobe hips to try to mix the air biscuit scent all around. You're talking about a different kind of air biscuit than I'm talking about, Acacia, okay? My air biscuits are family friendly and don't have any odor. Unlike your wanton, debauched degeneracy running amok, destroying the minds of a new generation. Well, unsurprisingly, I was unable to go outside and smoke a cigarette in just one trip. I forgot a lighter, without which this cigarette produces no smoke. All right, well, fine. I have to go back in. I'll get my glasses on. I'll go get the other thing I forgot too. Now look at me go. I can see things, everything. I don't know, honey. Where do you want to eat? Says the mother to the father. And then the kids, there's like 3 kids there, and they all say, Nantucket bucket eggs. And then they show the whole family going to Nantucket bucket eggs. They each have a bucket of eggs in front of them. And father's like, I got mine spicy. And one of the little kids says, I got mine tutti fruity. And it's got like hard-boiled eggs still in the shells with fruit on top of it. I was thinking last night in bed about this this wonderful musical group. It's called Lemon Butter and Chutney, and it's two Indian guys from India in their early 30s, each of them. Hello, I am lemon butter, and I am chutney, and we are lemon butter and chutney. And they both play keyboard, and they sing like love songs, like adult contemporary kind of love songs with lyrics like, I want to be with you, and I want you to be with me so that we can be together. Things like that. Lemon butter and chutney. They both play the keyboard. Neither of them actually plays the keyboard very well. They play it like the auto keyboard thing, So one of them will play the drums on his keyboard, and the other one will play the. This wouldn't actually work, but he'll play the auto thing on the other one. So that each of them is just occasionally pushing one button on the keyboard. You know, thanks. That was When I'm With You and You're With Me, We're Together. Thank you very much. That was When I am with you and you are with me, we are together. I am Chutney. This is my partner, Lemon Butter. And for our next song, we are going to play Tonight is the Night When I Will Love You During the Night. They take turns singing. They don't, they sometimes sing together, but they don't sing any harmonies or anything. They do have a couple of spoken word sections in their songs as well. Mostly Chutney, who fancies himself more of a poet. Uh, Spoken word sections. Like Vishnu or a cow from the street, you came crashing through the doors of my heart. I wonder if anybody's ever tried to write a song about two zombie chickens. Maybe. I I think that a better song would be about International Battle Chicken. International Battle Chicken is a well-named bird. Two Zombie Chickens was like in New York City. That's not what the beginning of that song says. Did you terrorists think you were safe just because you crossed the border into Croatia? You're never safe from me, International Battle Chicken. My jurisdiction is recognized in every country. Bark, bark, motherfuckers! The International Battleship King comes tearing in with all of his accoutrements, his jet power. I've got to say it in tune. No, thank you. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Two zombie chickens pitched by my doorstep singing sweet songs. Now that's three little birds. Chickens can't become zombies. Everybody knows that. Chickens are one of the few species that's immune to zombieism. Unlike humans, who are especially prone to it. Now you got me singing here, Hey There Delilah in my head. That's what you do to me. That's what you do to me. It's a good song. I definitely feel happy that if there has to be a single song that is always going to be associated with my daughter's name, at least it's a good song. Because that song came out after I named my daughter Delilah. What a an uncontrollable thing, you know, like I wouldn't have wanted to name my daughter Caroline, in part because I wouldn't want her to be subjected to endless renditions of Sweet Caroline for her entire life. But instead, I made it so Delilah is subjected to endless times people saying to her, "Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City?" Well, I couldn't anticipate that, you know. There's no way I was going to anticipate it. Are there any songs with Eric in it? You know, can't think of any, but that makes me want to write a love song to somebody named Eric for Rachel to sing. Eric, I think your name is dumb. I don't like the name Eric very much. Thanks, darling. You're a wonderful lady. I don't like it very much. I was like, there was this awesome guy, blah, blah, blah. And the man's name was Eric. It's just, no, that can't be the guy's name, Eric. There was this cool, solemn, silent cowboy, as tough as nails and as true as the Wild West. And his name was Eric? No. You know what I had to say about Eric? Eric Schmerich. What I had to say about Eric. Two zombie chickens in Queens, and they don't care. Those chickens don't care. I'm not familiar with that song. But then I'm not from New York City. John Hawkins from Nashville. I didn't see John Hawkins from Nashville. Oh, there he is. Hello from Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, John Hawkins. You must be mad at John Hopkins University. I'm going to shake your fist at them and say, your name is too similar to mine. Johns Hopkins. Why is there an S on the John? Nobody knows. One of the infinite mysteries of life. Why don't they just call it John Hopkins University? The Hop. You think that's what they nickname it if you go there? Where do you go to school? I go to the Hop. The Hop? Oh, sorry. It's kind of like in-group jargon. Johns Hopkins University. Home of the Hoppers. I think their mascot should be the Hoppers. They don't have the academy sports teams really, but the Johns Hopkins University Hoppers, they play their games at the Hop, which is a basketball arena. And they also have a local bar there called the Hop. This is some mythology I'm creating for Johns Hopkins University. I have a ticket to ride, but I don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn also does not care. Moon River. Lovely is the night. Jimmy Crack Corn. Fight, fight, fight. We've got a long time to wait until the Dodger game comes on. Oh, good. It's in Milwaukee. I was just thinking, oh, shit, it's going to be rained out. But it won't be rained out unless it's raining in Milwaukee. And I have no reason to believe it's raining in Milwaukee. Since Milwaukee is far away from Los Angeles. I mooned River and Joaquin got mad. That's because he was dying on the sidewalk when he did that in Osage. It was a totally inappropriate time. Too soon? Too soon for a River Phoenix dying on the sidewalk joke? I believe it was at the Viper Room, outside the Viper Room. Everyone's like, dag, dog. That dude's dead. I think I'm going to make myself a buttered tortilla. Rachel, would you like a buttered tortilla?
What?
A buttered tortilla?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Have I ever told you, Rachel, that you really butter my tortilla?
No, but do I?
Yes, you do.
Mom, thanks. Here's the butter to my tortilla.
Thanks, darling. All right, here we go. I've got a package of tortillas, as fresh can be. I'm opening them and naming them Jem, and singing them Tra Lily. Oh. Okay, this is the important part of making buttered tortilla. You can't just stick some butter on a cold tortilla and call it done. No. What you've got to do instead, you've got to teach the retarded children. But then after you do that, you've got to open up your bag of tortillas. You're right, the kitty wants to go outside. How did you know? Go ahead. That's pretty impressive there, Vincent Mom. I don't know how you knew Kitty wanted to go outside. But he was indeed standing right by the door, looking intently at it as if to convey to me, I want this opened. And I, a very accommodating man, opened the door for him. It's really getting to be cozy time around here with the cold weather and the rain. It's very nurturing, like being at home, not pushing yourself too hard or anything. Cause I've been going pretty hard the last few days. I need to rest, you know. But of course, I'm not going to be resting anytime real soon because I took Adderall today. Alright. Now look at this. Look at this. Just that quickly, I went from nothing to buttered tortilla. To eat this, you gotta fold out the end so the butter doesn't all come pouring out. Ideally, you get the butter equally spread around. Mmm. I want to hear my favorite Norm May I joke? Sure. True, Winston's mom. True dat. I tell ya, there's a real FI party around here, huh? Whatever happened to that old Eric who was so opposed to feelings? Now, it's like I swim in a pond full of dampness all the time. I'm going to write a memoir for this period of my life called The Damp Years. Being Eric, The Damp Years. I was like, hey, get out of here, feelings. And they're like, no. You have to feel us. I don't want to feel you. Oh no, a bad feeling. Everybody run and hide. Oh, why, Bob Feller? But you know, your feelings ultimately don't want to be ignored. And if you're F5 polar, you can do a pretty good job of ignoring them for a pretty long time. But not forever, I'm guessing. Not for me, anyway. Maybe for other people that have better polariness or something. They're better at being blind. Boom, pow, pow.
Yeah. Wasn't that your jam before?
Yeah, probably. I was doing a lot of rippity rapping.
Yeah, I heard. Your creative juices are flying.
So are my butter juices.
So are your butter juices.
This week, topping the college radio charts is better than Ezra. Coming in second, Ezra. That's pretty funny. It was a silly joke. I like Norm Macdonald's moth joke. It's quite an excellent piece of comedic arts.
What?
Norm Macdonald's moth joke. I think it's an excellent piece of comedic writing, basically.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Well, I mean, you've heard it before, but nobody said it here. I was just ripping off of what No Sage said.
Oh.
No Sage quoted a Norm Macdonald joke that says, "This week, topping the college radio charts is better than Ezra. Coming in second, Ezra." I like the moth joke. It's a long joke, though. I can't begin to tell it. I'll have to check out the Hero Pig one. I haven't heard that one, I don't think. So, what I want to do now is play music, but the way I want to do it, I'm going to have to end the stream if I do that. So I think I won't start playing music anymore. I'll give this stream a little bit longer. Maybe I'll go outside, smoke a cigarette. Or, even better, maybe I'll go in the garage, where it's in between inside and outside. Built to Spill is playing near me in November, same venue I saw LSD and The Search for God at. Well, I don't really know Built to Spill very well, and I don't know that. Is that one band, LSD and The Search for God? I don't know them at all. They're the mystery band that keeps on getting more mysterious. Just like the ways of God. I don't know if you've heard, but he works in mysterious ways. You've seen them twice, huh? Can you get LSD at their show? I make then worth going to see regardless. Oh, you want to see the pond? Yeah, sure. Let's go look. It's filled up with water in all three of the pools. It is currently still raining a little bit. Raining a decent bit. So here's the top pool. And then this pool here. Going all the way down to the bottom. I don't want to walk down into the mud. If it fills up too far, it'll go out the spillway. Oh, it's wet. It's cold out here. If it's still raining in the middle of the night tonight, or whenever it gets to be the coldest, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get snow. Snow is, interestingly, it always seems to feel less cold than cold rain, A cold rainy day like today, that cold just cuts right to your bone. Whereas snow is somehow warmer than rain. Warmer than cold rain, anyway. So there was the pond.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, well, they don't really drain. At least the top two don't. The bottom one did, but it now has an additional layer of mortar on it. I'll probably need to, because unfortunately it didn't have a lot of time to set before the rain came in, but I might have to do more mortaring on the bottom pool. We'll see. I'll have to wait till it stops raining and see if they all stay, like, if one of them, if the bottom one drains faster or disappears faster than the top two, then I'll know it's still not watertight all the way. Meow. Meow. What do you want? You want your father to watch you eat? Is that what you want? Alright, fine. Let me go watch you eat. Didn't I just watch you eat? Go ahead if you're gonna eat. Go on. Gone now. You meowing like it's so urgent to come over here. You don't even actually want to eat. You just wanted to control me. As usual. Oh, trouble. You should add a glory hole style spillway. I don't know what a glory hole style spillway is. But if everything, slowly evaporates at the same speed, then it'll be time to run it for a while with the bigger pump and get a sense of how often I have to refill it, and how much I have to refill it, I've told you about it. The one in Lake Berryessa. You looked it up on stream. Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that. I'm not going to do that. That's too hard to do. Glory hole, glory hole. This is my glory hole, glory hole. It is my glory hole.
In my glory hole.
Thanks, Darlene. I'm her glory hole. This cat. You are a real piece of work, mister. You think I'm your concierge or something. Your personal manservant. Here you go, massa. More food for you. Oh no, I am your manservant. I'm pretty sure Show Media was correct. No. A glory hole is like a geyser in a lake. Barbara Walters once said that exact phrase to Norm MacDonald. What is that phrase? Please touch my glory hole. I'm a piece of work. Well, very drizzly Tuesday. Fortunately, I don't think plants are at any further risk of branches breaking or anything. I've I've harvested a lot of potential weight that could have pulled down branches, Me and Cameron did too. So I don't need to worry about that. I do need to worry about the pond in the coming days and just keeping an eye on it and seeing what's doing. I need to get the bigger pump for it as well. So yeah. I guess that's gonna about do it for today's live stream. Yeah, scotch in the morning is it's probably not the best time for scotch, but I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for being here. I love you all. I probably see you again tomorrow. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.